So one of the things I discovered about being a PA is just how different the job can be depending on who you're working for. And really thinking about the person for whom we're working, the boss, the manager, and the kind of way in which we got on with each other would actually make a huge difference to how my job was. And that's one of the things that I'm going to sort of use as part of the theme that we're going to talk about today. So, just really to explain what the outcomes are going to be. So 3 outcomes. If you've been to any of our other sessions, you'll know we always have 3 outcomes. So the first one being just to define the role, to understand what it is that is expected of us and so on. The second being to look at the confidence and credibility and so on to help you in your own self-belief. And then finally looking at your career and advancing your career. So those are the 3 aspects that I'm going to be considering. I do deliver, as I say, the training around PA skills at Reed, so I will draw upon that as well, just to give you some examples when we get to them. So first off, the job itself and what it is that we're supposed to be doing. I think probably key is the fact that we are a partnership. We're a partnership with our manager, with our boss, and so we do need to understand each other and be very clear about what our expectations are. So, first question is, what does your boss expect from you? And to give you the answers to this, what I did is I've asked a lot of people with whom I've worked in various training programs what they expect from their PAs. You know, what do they expect them to be like? What do they expect them to do, to behave? And, you know, those sort of considerations. So these are some of the things that they told us. So clearly competence and being able to know the job, the skills associated with the job and so on. Trust, because working in confidence, depending on the nature of the job, then a lot to do with the confidentiality, the sensitivity of the work that the person needs to be aware of as well. So they want to trust their PA. They also need a relationship based on openness. So anything perhaps that they think of, their thoughts, the kinds of difficulties perhaps that the person might experience, and to be willing to share those with the boss, with the manager. Reliability, so being able to count upon that person to provide what they say they will provide, to do things in a timely fashion, to be always able, as it were, to respond to the needs that the manager or the boss may have. And then finally, to support them in their role, to offer support in their role. So just thinking about all of those sorts of things, really, that the managers actually expect. Now, you might say, pretty obvious, but do you really know that's what they want? Because that's the question, isn't it? You know, I'm saying that through my experience and through asking people, but of course, until we actually ask, we don't really know. And I'm not saying you're not doing a good job, because I'm sure you are, but what people often say to me is that I assume everything's okay because nobody's told me it isn't. So in other words, we seem to only take notice of feedback when it's negative. So how about going and asking, is what I'm doing what you want? You know, that's quite a useful thing just to think about. So if we turn it round then and think about ourselves, what do we expect from our boss, from our managers? And this is an exercise which we do at the beginning of the training courses with PAs, where we share what we think we want as well. You know, from our perspective, what do we expect from the boss? No surprises. All the same things. All the same things the other way around. And it's amazing, those 2 lists, how they coincide. We also look for communication from our manager or from our boss. We want them to tell us, we want to be informed, we want to know what's happening. We don't want to be told on a needs-to-know type of basis. So we need to be part of that as well. That's what we want. But again, we need to make sure that we're actually asking for it. So there's an expression that we use quite a lot, which is ask for what you need to do the job well. You know, if you're not getting it, they may not guess. So, you know, just be clear about getting the right things.